Three brothers, 5 days, just over 1,000 miles across Nevada and California. This trip started in Las Vegas and took us through Red Rock Canyon, Death Valley, the Mojave National Preserve, and Joshua Tree National Park. We dealt with extreme heat, freezing rain, rough gravel roads, and one crash, but also some of the best riding and scenery we've experienced. Bryan and Michael flew from Indianapolis to meet me in Las Vegas, and what started as just a trip turned into something we decided to do every year. Bryan and Michael are my brothers. I'm the oldest. We all ride motorcycles, and this was our first trip together without our families. The trip really started the day before when I picked them up from the airport in Las Vegas after they flew in from Indianapolis. We got the bike sorted, went over the plan, and tried to get a decent night's of sleep, knowing once we rolled out, it would be 5 straight days on the road. The next morning, we geared up and left from North Las Vegas. Before heading out, we made a stop in Chinatown for all-you-can-eat sushi at one of my favorite spots. We suspected that we were going to eat a lot of freeze-dried food this trip, and we wanted one last meal before we left. From there, we made our way out to Red Rock Canyon and rode the scenic loop. This 14-mile loop is a pretty drive on our bikes, and it was a good way to warm up and shake out the gear before we actually leave town. Smooth pavement, red cliffs, and perfect weather, it was a good way to ease into the trip. After leaving town, we passed through Pahrump and into Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge, where the desert surprised us with wildflowers in full bloom. By the time we reached Death Valley, things had shifted. The heat was hitting hard, and the campground didn't have shade. We decided to hang out near the lodge until the sun got lower on the horizon. We didn't complain. After all the planning, we were finally out there. Day 2. Last night we had some very noisy neighbors in the campground that pretty much set up camp right on top of us. We packed up early and the next morning, partly by choice, because we wanted to beat the heat. Our first stop was at Brinsky Point, which overlooks the golden hills that change color depending on the time of day. From there, we hit one of the few gravel sections, 20 Mule Team Canyon. Between 1883 and 1889, this road was used to haul borax ore with, you guessed it, 20 mules. After exiting the gravel section, we climbed up to Dante's View. It's a 16-mile, twisty road just south of Furnace Creek that offers panoramic views of Death Valley Basin. From there, you can see Badwater Basin below and snow-covered mountains in the distance. After a quick breakfast, we dropped down into the basin and rode over to Artist Drive, a one-way winding road through colorful hills. It's a nice break from the straight highways we've been on. The next stop was Badwater Basin. We walked out into the salt flats, boots crunching, heat radiating up, and it was a little much on riding gear. The route took us towards Tacoma where we had planned to camp. We almost didn't make it because of Michael's BMW. It was using more fuel than the other 2 bikes, and his gas light was on for a really long time. We had to do a lot of strategic pushing and coasting. We had planned to camp in Tacoma, but the local campground warned us about the weather and was even concerned about giving us the site. We decided to pivot and grab a trailer at the local hot springs. The trailer was old, but the hot springs were hot, and the local cafe had barbecue and cold beers. It was a perfect way to end the day. Day 3. The next morning we headed towards Baker where we stopped at a small Greek spot. From there we would push on to Mojave National Preserve. Long stretches of empty road with almost no traffic. At one point a police car followed us for miles. Nothing came out of it, but it definitely kept things interesting. We stopped at Kelso Depot, which is an old train station that opened in 1924. I believe it was used when trains needed extra engines to make it over the mountains, but it was turned into a visitor center in 2005 as trains became more powerful. Kelso Dunes is nearby, and we stopped to take a look, but no one was prepared to hike. That afternoon, we took a rough, unmaintained road about 10 miles out to Hole in the Wall Campground. On big, loaded bikes, it wasn't easy, and we had some near misses, but we made it. After setting up camp, we walked the ring trail, climbing through narrow sections of rock using metal rings bolted into the walls. We needed to stretch our legs and goof off for a bit. Bryan was tired and went to bed early, so Michael and I played cards until it was time to settle in. Day 4. That night didn't stay quiet. The wind picked up, temperatures dropped, and then came the freezing rain. At one point, my tent collapsed, and I lay there too cold to get out and to try to fix it. By morning, everything was wet, cold, and honestly pretty miserable. We packed up quick and got moving. Not long into the ride, we spotted an old mine shaft just off the road and decided to check it out. After a short hike up the hill and a quick look inside out of curiosity, we got back on the bikes. That's when things got a little sketchy. The sand looked manageable, but was deep in places. Bryan backed off, Michael kept his speed up, standing on the pegs, and he went down. Thankfully there was no injuries, the bike was fine, but it was a reminder out here that things change fast. From there we rode through Amboy, 29 Palms, and on to Joshua Tree National Park. Out of everywhere we rode, Bryan thought Joshua Tree was his favorite. And by that point we were about 800 miles in. I finally was feeling completely comfortable on the bike, riding more relaxed, standing more, and enjoying it in a much different way. After the night before, our gear was soaked and beat up. We talked about it and went back and forth and decided to get a hotel. It's not exactly in the spirit of the trip, but it was the right call. Day 5. Day 5 came fast. Leaving 29 Palms, it hit us all that the trip was almost over. We rode stretches of Route 66, passing through Searchlight, and made our way towards Boulder City. And then, just like that, we were back in Las Vegas. Pulling into my driveway, the trip clicked over just past 1,000 miles. It didn't feel that long, but at the same time, it felt like we'd been out there a while. We wrapped things up with some In-N-Out burger. Bryan and Michael had to leave to get the bikes cleaned up and return before their flight out. We would meet up later that evening at their hotel, but the trip was done and a success. Somewhere along the way, it was no longer just a trip. It became something that we would do every year, an annual tradition. Soon I'll be posting videos of a dual sport ride we did through Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, and later this year we're going to do some off-roading through Moab, Utah. In closing, 3 brothers, 5 days, 1,000 miles, and we were just getting started.